Rage Text is back at MGM. If you don't know what I'm talking about, click the link at the top while I show you some scenery. Another MGM rakeback promo has been going on. You can play hours, cash in your hours for money, and it draws quite the crowd to the MGM poker room. So he's back. Hilarious that it's the only time I've ever seen him in my life in MGM during this promo, which will come in handy later. First, let me go downstairs and find a better spot to tell you all this. All right, out where rideshare used to be in front of Bally's, between Bally's and Cromwell. So, all right, I was playing, MGM was my second stop yesterday. I was playing MGM. I was on table 17, which is the table right next to a Tap sports bar. And I think he started on table 11, which is right next to 17. The table numbers kind of snake up and down. So at first, I'm not at his table. But every time something goes bad, he's running over to the corner, that wall near Tap Sports Bar, and he's like, I don't know if he's calling someone or he's just talking like voice to text, leaving a note for himself for later, but he's getting really mad. So I was texting Herbs and Rye. Let me read the text to Herbs and Rye so I get this right. So at one point, Rage Text walked over and he's talking into his phone and he says, I don't think anyone in the history of mankind has run as badly as I have. I have lost literally every single hand I've played. So that was one instance. He's saying way more things, but he's like pacing back and forth, saying like sometimes he's too far away for me to hear. But when he's closer, I'm listening as carefully as I could. And he said that at one point. Then later, he said he walked over like screaming in a whisper, not one hand. I can't win one hand. It makes me sick. Then he asked for a transfer. He transferred to my table, except he didn't play. He put his chips down and then he walked away. He was gone for about 10 minutes. Then he came back and he picked up his chips and he left. He didn't transfer again, he left. I saw him walk out like towards the table games. He just left the poker room. All right. In the meantime, I'm still texting Herbs and Rye all the time about this. I texted him because if you remember last year, if you watched that video where I put the link at the top of the screen, there was a rakeback stretch last year where he brought cherries and a loaf of bread and pre-sliced like supermarket lunch meat turkey, and he was making sandwiches with the turkey and the bread and the mayo at the table while he was playing, and he was offering the turkey to other people. Like anyone would want turkey that he was like touching the cards and chips with and then touching the turkey. So no foods like that this time, but I texted Herbs and Rye. I should pay someone to go up to him with 2 slices of bread and ask him if he has any turkey. I really would have considered it strongly if I had bread and if someone in the area would have appreciated it. If Herbs and Rye were there, I think we could have put something together like that. So he leaves. Eventually he comes back and now he's at my table. So he's like really in a rage, more than usual. I mean, usually it's like pretty high. It was like more than usual. He's folding out a turn. Like he's instantly looking at his cards as soon as he gets them. And he's like throwing them as hard as he could down at the table, and he's folding out a turn. And a lot of us are laughing. One guy was like joking about it with him, but like I think really not wanting him to keep folding out a turn. At one point, he calls the floor over because it sounded like there were like staples underneath the table that were like poking out at him and like cut his hand and he was bleeding. I didn't see any blood, but that's what he made it sound like. The funny part was that when he tells the floor and the floor comes over with like tape and scissors to fix this, I think the floor was trying to use the scissors to like bend the staples back like up to the table and then put tape over it. Okay. Apparently she's not doing this quickly enough. He grabs the scissors out of her hands, kneels down next to the table and says, no, I could do it better. And he does something with scissors under the table to just leave her standing there like staring at me like I could read her mind. Why is this guy insane? And she's just sitting there with tape while he does stuff with scissors under the table. Eventually I guess he got that fixed. There's kids screaming right down there. Eventually he got that fixed, I guess. And then he didn't play for that much longer. He transferred again, and then he left, and then he came back, and while he was waiting for a seat, I heard him on the phone with someone saying he only needs 7 more hours to hit 40 hours and cash out. I really wish he lost more hands when he was at my table. He seems to be losing every single hand on table 11, which is exactly what I said last summer. Like when he has pocket 10s and the flop is like 10-7-7 and some guy has a 7, he thinks he's the greatest poker player of all time, and no one else in the world has ever hit 10s full of 7s before. And he was in for a rude surprise when like he stops just hitting boats every hand he plays. Also, what was funny, at one point he said, like, no one asked, no one provoked him, he just said, like, he hates MGM during these promos. He says, oh, the rakeback promos are so bad. People come, they sit here, they don't do anything, they never play a hand, they just get their hours, they cash it out. I have only ever seen him in my life at MGM during a rakeback promotion. I've never seen him in any other poker room in my life. I've never seen him in any other state in my life. I've never seen him at MGM when there is not a rakeback promotion going on. He is exactly what he hates. He was just like, he couldn't take it and started screaming about people who play MGM during the rakeback promotion. That's him. That is exactly him. There's a small group that only plays there. There are other people that play like all year round, and when that's going on, they go there. I give it a try every time. Sometimes play a little, sometimes play a lot. I have literally never ever seen him in my life except playing poker in MGM during a rakeback period. So I don't know what he has the right to be mad at, because he's the person he should be mad at. And let me see quick if there's anything else I texted Herbs and Rye about him. All right, no, that was it. That was pretty good. The transfers, the staples, the lack of turkey and cherries, and him hating himself, even though he doesn't really realize that's what he was doing. So Rage text is back. I've been giving MGM a try, and some days I can't take it. Some days I've been finding good games, so I'll be giving it a try a little more in the next 10 days or so. If there's any more Rage Tech stories, I will definitely let you know. Thanks for watching the video. If you're enjoying this content and want even more poker, Las Vegas, and travel content, feel free to sign up to receive my monthly newsletter via my Patreon page. It's $5 a month. There are 3 ways to sign up. You could either type in the link you've been seeing at the bottom of the screen, or you could go to my YouTube homepage and in the center of the screen, click on the link to my Patreon page, or you could go into any recent video of mine, go into the description box below the video, and click on the link to my Patreon page from there. Once you're on the Patreon page, click on Start Free Trial and follow all the prompts. The first 7 days are free. It's $5 a month after that, and you will receive 1 monthly newsletter about everything poker, Las Vegas, and travel related. If you want to see the first one I created, which is free for everybody, feel free to click the link on the top of the screen or the link to the video that's on the screen in the bottom left-hand corner right now.